Hey everyone, welcome back to another gameplay commentary match. This is going to be a Celestial rank game, and we're in Celestial 1 now. So the last one, I believe we were in Celestial 2, the last one that I did, and now we're in Celestial 1, which is awesome. In fact, we were actually almost in Eternity. I think we were like 1 or 2 games off from Eternity, and then we kind of hit an L streak and went down a little bit, which was unfortunate, but I feel like that happens quite a bit in this game. You kind of hit an L streak and then you hit some dub streak, so we'll get there eventually. But this is going to be a, relatively high-ranking rank game, and this game I'm going to be playing mostly Luna Snow, and so I thought this was actually a really good game just to kind of go over. I thought I had a really good game, really good performance all around, but there may have been like, 1 or 2 ults or some plays here and there that I think were probably pretty poor, so I kind of want to just go over everything that I can, just like we've done in the other rank guides. And yeah, hopefully you guys like learn some stuff from this, and hopefully I do as well, re-going over this game and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And just like that, we're at game start, thanks to the power of editing. Let's go, baby. So this game, we actually have a lot of, air characters. We have Venom, we have Spider-Man. They wanted to do that team up, so I was like, all right, let's do it. We also have a Loki, we have a Strange. So we have a few decent characters. Typically, I like having, say, Cloak and Dagger if we don't have one, but I believe she was banned this game, and I was like, you know what? I've been playing a lot of C&D recently. Let's go ahead and play some more Luna Snow. I feel like Luna can be a little bit on the more difficult end here and there. Not from, how she heals, but she does have to aim her heals, right? Like, you still have to hit your allies with your heals, but also, too, with, like, her positioning and hitting her right click. I think her right click is something that is I don't want to say ignored, but I feel like a lot of people don't realize like how much a right click does, or sometimes how hard it is to hit and how much it can kind of like carry through a fight. So typically with like Luna, I'm like, okay, as long as I'm hitting my right click, I should be doing a lot, right? Like I should be doing a ton in the fight. So we're gonna push up here a little bit. I like pushing through main a lot. I just feel like it's easier to kind of heal everybody. You get to see everybody. Plus, like it's harder, I think, for enemies to flank you. But here we're just gonna try to back up a little bit. We want to position the back. Luna, thankfully, her autos are kind of like sniper shots a little bit. Here we just got our ult, so we go ahead and pop it, and we just want to move forward with it. It's important to note every time you get Luna ult, you should just be moving forward with your team. You want to sort of like direct your team, and they should just be following you. So don't wait for your team to push up, but you kind of push your team up, if that makes sense. This Hulk was actually a massive annoyance this game. He kept hitting the Storm, but I was doing my best to heal the Storm as much as I could. And this Hulk was just on her the whole time, but I was just healing her and healing her this entire time. Luna got ult. Not Luna, sorry. Loki got ult. They both start with L's. My bad. And so we're able to kind of push up here. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I think so far this fight, we're doing a really good job. My DPS are killing people. We did have to use both support ults, but that's completely fine because we were able to get point. I do feel like this point is like actually pretty hard to push on this map. For some reason, like typically I have teams that struggle on this point. So you either struggle getting the point or you don't struggle at all. I feel like there's no like in between with that point, and I'm not really sure why. But it's either you struggle against an enemy team getting it or like you just get it instantly. So here, it kind of felt like we got it instantly. Of course, it took a little bit of time, but we got off like one push. I didn't die. I didn't have to come back, all that kind of jazz. So it was pretty good. You got to make sure that, we have a lot of air characters this game, like I said earlier. So I just want to make sure I'm looking at them as much as I can. That's like the big important thing, right? Spider-Man, Storm, Venom. Well, Venom can kind of do his own thing, but like Spider-Man, Storm in particular, want to make sure I'm consistently looking up and trying to heal them. Especially because we have a Loki, and Loki's not really going to be the best, I feel like, at dealing with air allies, at healing them because of the way his autos are. But we're just trying to survive this Hulk right now. Luckily, he goes on a Loki and doesn't hit us, which is good. I want to heal this Venom and Strange, and we do have ult up, but because we don't have anybody up right now, like we want to hold this ult, right? We don't want to do anything with the ult yet. We want to make sure that we get like a full crew before we go ahead and pop this ult. So we're gonna walk up though. We're doing a really good job so far of just healing everybody, healing our tanks, making sure everybody's live and healthy. I don't really know what that snowball was for me, but maybe that was just me trying to hit a trick shot, Who knows? Venom goes in a little bit too deep, unfortunately. Right now, we just kind of want to stay around the cart waiting for everybody. I do have ult in case something happens. And so we're going to run back a little bit, though. We just, again, want to wait for everybody. Their Luna ults. I'm not going to pop ult here. I think there's like a lot of times where it's like, hey, you should maybe pop ult there. I don't think that was one of those times because, again, we're kind of already down in the fight. And we don't really gain too much from losing right there. And I feel like if I pop ult, it just kind of like stalemates the fight. I want our ult to sort of win the fight, if that makes sense. So we have our ult still, and yeah, we're going to walk up with it. I just decided to pop ult right here. Might have been a little bit too early, but the problem with what happens in this play is that we're all just so spread out. So this was kind of a bad ult by me. I know I just talked about holding ult for a good play, and I don't know what the hell that was, I'm going to be honest. But that was kind of like a little weird because we're all spread out. And I feel like whenever, your healer has ult, whether it's Luna, Cloak and Dagger, like whoever the case, whenever somebody has ult, like you want to sort of like group up on their ult. So right there, we were all spread out. I don't remember if I calmed that I had ult or not. If I didn't, then that's probably just on me. But yeah, whenever like my Luna ults or my C&D ults or whoever ults, like you just kind of want to run to them, right? You want to run to them. They kind of control the fight. This is actually a pretty good portal by Strange to kind of get high ground. We should have done this way earlier. On this map, on this defense push in particular, a lot of people, especially Lokis and other people that can get up here, kind of like to sit up here, and it's really good for them to just, just sit up there and have height control. One good thing to note is Luna obviously does a lot of damage to like deployables, right? So you want to make sure you're killing these Loki clones. Realistically, everybody should be killing the Loki clones, especially your DPS, but a lot of times my DPS just tend to ignore things like onks and clones for some reason. And I have to be the one doing it, which is fine, whatever. So, you just triple heady the or double heady the Loki clones, and you should be able to take them out for free. So we're able to get this forward. Kind of a weird strange portal by them, but I kind of see what they were trying to do, right? They wanted to get back to the point. But now they don't have strange portal, and we're just having a really, really good push right now. Nice little triple kill. I just kind of want to stay on cart a little bit, make sure the cart pushes up faster. I believe it's, I want to say it's 3 maximum on cart, but it might be 4. I've heard like differences, and I haven't really cared enough to like really check. Maybe you guys can say in the comment section what it is. I've always thought it was 3 max, but some other people in my games have been like, no, it's 4 max. You can have 4 max on cart. So I don't really know, but if you guys know in the comments, let me know. I appreciate that. Here we're just still on cart. That's our main goal, is just pushing cart. And I kind of want to like push up with ult here. The ult might have been a little bit premature, but I'll tell you one thing right now. That strange ult was really premature. I don't know why he ulted in my Luna ult. That was kind of trolled by him. So if anything, they could have just waited out the Luna ult. I should have maybe held it a little bit longer. But we end up losing the fight anyways. They actually ended up managing like to kill Loki somehow. So we're able to freeze that Hulk, which is nice, and hit this strange and heal him. But I'm just kind of getting my ass beat by this Hulk right now. So nothing I can do. I'm kind of accepting my fate. One thing I think that's like important to note as well when you play Luna Snow is, one, of course, you want to save your right click mostly for PO. You don't just want to like shoot it out how I do sometimes. I kind of like troll with it unless you're hard winning. But right there's a really good example of me being able to PO myself and then healing the strange while the Hulk is frozen because I was able to do that. But the other thing too is just like using your ult kind of as a counter or a push, just depending on the situation. Last 2 times I've used my ult, they've been kind of pushes, and they've been kind of mediocre ults, to be honest with you. They weren't the best. Ulting as Luna can honestly be hard sometimes, just depending on the team comp. But no, I think Luna ult's actually like pretty hard to just kind of get down and get consistent with. I think that's a big thing when you are playing support, is getting consistent with support ults, consistently good at like most or just about every single situation and knowing when to ult and how to use ults and stuff like that. So a lot of this game was me kind of like using my ult a little bit prematurely, or at least a lot of this like initial push round. And then we'll see kind of like in the second half, I start to use it a little bit more defensively, but I want to use it on these Star-Lord ults as well. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But everybody's just sort of dead right now, so we just want to back up a little bit. So everybody's alive now, and we have our ult. So now we just want to play for this. We want to push up a little bit. Strange ult, so we go ahead and get a really, really good ult that pretty much just ends up saving our team. So this is massive, and this is what I mean by kind of countering some ults. I kind of flick it to damage a little bit just so Iron Man can get, a good beam on somebody. And we hopefully are winning this fight. We get a nice little freeze 180 on Hulk, and then we go up and we keep healing. We don't want to hit the Hulk or anything like that. We just use it to heal ourselves. And we're able to frag a few of them. So this is actually pretty good. Walking up, this guy's still jumping around all mad and stuff. But we should be able to get it here. Yeah, so for the most part, I mean, that play right there was all made off how we ulted, right? Like, that was a perfect ult by us. Imagine if we don't have a really, really good ult right there. They probably wipe us. And if they wipe us right there, then who knows what happens, right? Because we're already in OT. So maybe we don't even get this point. But it looks like we might not even get this point yet. Let's see what happens. I'm just playing back here. We could also play up forwards. Oh, yeah, that guy's just hit by a strange ult. We should be chilling. But we could also play in the Luna ult right there. That's completely fine. I just kind of saw myself sort of going backwards. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to play back here. But if for some reason we were losing the fight right there and one of their DPS decides to go on me because he sees I'm by myself and I end up dying, then like that could have been my fault. And at that point, it's like, well, why didn't I just play an our Luna ult, right? So something that you have to weigh a little bit. Sometimes I like to play out of it, like play out of the fight if everybody's sort of distracted. But I think it's like best definitely to kind of just play in your support ults whenever they do have them. But one thing that's important to keep note of is that you want to keep note of when the support ult's going to end, right? Like Luna has sort of her last dance, or you can kind of feel like after you play the game for a little bit, you have a feeling of when ults are going to end. And so, like, you want to sort of play accordingly. For example, when I'm playing, say, someone like Invisible Woman, right? I, like, jump out of my ult, like, 1 or 2 seconds before it ends because I know it's about to end. Or if I'm playing Luna, depending on how the fight goes, like, if we're winning it, hopefully we should be if we're Luna ulting. But if we are winning the fight, then I'm pushing forward with it. But if we're losing the fight or the fight's kind of neutral, I'm going to start backing up with Luna ult on the last 2 seconds because I want to put myself in a better position than just being on the front lines when the ult ends, that kind of stuff. So it all just sort of depends, and that's stuff that you're just going to build with experience and over time and, you know, watching videos like this, hopefully. But yeah. So that was a pretty good round. We don't have any extra bonus time, but you know, we got 3, and hopefully, like, we can kind of stop them and not get them to OT. That would be kind of sick. But do I have any tips for this point? None in particular. I'd say, like, the biggest thing here is just positioning. So you have to know, try to get a feel where they're coming from. Some people like to strain support from behind. Others like to push up, like what they're doing right now, and try to go from the top right. So one thing you want to do, especially with a character like Luna, because you don't directly have an escape, is you kind of want to play sort of on the opposite side of them a little bit. Now, here we're not doing that. But in general, I think it's important to note to play on sort of like the opposite side of where they're pushing, right? So that way you increase the gap, you increase the space, and make it hard for them to sort of get to you and kill you. But here we're kind of just playing down here, and I kind of like this spot. I like this pocket, especially if both healers are here, because we're at least able to heal each other. Especially because I can sit on Loki left click or left shift like I'm doing right now. But yeah, we're going to chill here, but everybody's just taking a lot of damage, and everybody up top left ends up dying. I'm just trying to heal, I almost said Spider-Man. I'm just trying to heal Iron Man as much as I can, but I think, I want to say, do we end up defending this point? They already have 2 bars on it. Hulk's going around. So I want to heal him. Iron Man ends up dying, unfortunately, to Hela. One thing that was kind of pissing me off this game, to be honest with you, was I felt like a lot of people were sort of unaware of what was happening in the fights, and I'll explain that in a minute. But looks like we have a really good Strange portal. I have my ult, so I want to wait for the Sue ult to end. I hear Doctor Strange ulting, so I go ahead and let it rip. This is perfect. We're able to save almost everybody. I guess Iron Man wasn't in our ult right there, which is unfortunate. I'm going to back up here, though, because I know the ult's ending, and Storm just kills me anyways. So that should be point for them unless we just end up wiping. But one thing I was going to say was, one thing that was kind of like annoying me this game, and I feel like this happens a lot, but I feel like healers start getting blamed sort of like the second things go bad. Oh, there we go. See what I mean? As soon as I'm talking about it, this guy says no healers. Maybe he means from them, but I think he's talking about us. But I feel like healers end up getting blamed the second things go bad. When, I mean, maybe it's the healer's fault, maybe it's the DPS fault, maybe it's Sting's fault. You have no idea, right? Like, the thing is, everybody's sort of focused and looking at their own screen, so they don't really know what's going on. Trust me when I say, like, when people tell me, hey, I'm not getting healed, I'm just like, bro, literally there's 5 people that's weak. I'm trying to heal everybody and you're all spread out. You know, like, there's so many things that kind of happen, and that's one thing I like to tell people. It's like, I think this game was one of them where my team was like, man, we don't have healers or nobody's healing. It's like, bro, like, everybody's weak, you know? Like, we got to heal everybody. But in those cases, a tip for that is I try to prioritize DPS as best as I can. It just kind of depends on the DPS. Honestly, it depends on how well they're doing, too. If I have a tank that's absolutely popping off, I'm probably going to pocket him over my DPS if they're not doing anything. So that's one thing you should kind of like be aware of as well. But like, look at this. Like, we're just trying to heal the Storm best we can, you know.
I can. I'm just not getting healed there.
But yeah, I don't know. It kind of gets a little bit tough. I feel like people's like mentals break down a lot more easily in this game than other games that I've played, like at a competitive level. I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing, but for the most part, I think people are chill. But then like you have players that just start like crazy going off. Yeah, I think like my Mantis, I was getting a lot of Mantis today too, and I don't know why, but I think Mantis was even trying to say like that she was healing the Storm. And I think Storm was like one of the people that were like, you guys aren't healing and all that kind of stuff. So Trust me, trust me. You know, whenever people say that, I'm always like, all right, like we'll look at the endgame stats. We get a sick freeze onto the strange right there. So sometimes what I do is like I'll ult right away, even when I freeze because I think I'm gonna miss it. Right there, I kind of felt pretty confident with the freeze, so I didn't have to ult. I knew Mantis ult right here was about to end, so again, we just kind of killed the storm ult here with our ult. That's a funny term, kill the storm ult. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do. We negate it. And yeah, so we just kind of negate a lot of their ults, and we're able to kind of hold point, but it still seems like we're dying. So I think there's like some other issue going on this game, right? I think like we're just kind of not playing together as well. Trying to heal Storm, but she goes into the fog to make it harder to heal her. I don't know what that was all about, but we end up getting her, so that's good. And we're just trying to do our best healing everybody while Hulk is on us. You know, this is kind of like the hard thing with healers sometimes. It's like, oh, I have this green beast beating my ass, but this guy wants heals in the front line. So we're able to, I think we're able to kill him. Yeah, we are. That's good. And they haven't pushed card up too much, so it's not the worst yet. This is actually kind of like still a relatively hard push for them. Just because like our spawn is fairly close and crossing this corner can be a little difficult. So I actually don't mind if they push it up to that corner because I feel like that can kind of be hard for the attackers. The big thing is we just have to make sure that we're not overlapping our healer ults and that we're countering their DPS ults. And at that point, it kind of comes down to who is winning the initial fight. And that's where healing can kind of get a little bit difficult because if you think about the way healing is in this game, healing ults work in this game, because just about in every single big healer ult, everybody's kind of unkillable. Wait, let's see how this fight plays out, and I'll explain that further. Damn, I think he got pushed back a little bit. But I have my ult after this, so we should be fine. I'm not too worried. We end up popping it here. This is great. We go back because they all get strange ulted, so we're able to kind of save everybody, I think, which is huge. Absolutely huge. And then we're able to sort of push up here. Sue has her ult, though, and let's see. I want to make sure we keep the Mantis alive. I think we all end up dying. Oh man, this Hulk was playing so well this game, dude. That's crazy. That character actually just does so much right now. I think, dude, I think my Strange this game as well said, like, what happened to our Luna ult? I remember that. I'm like, what do you mean what happened to our Luna ult? Like, that, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. He was like, what happened to our Luna ult right there? Well, we all just saw what happened to our Luna ult. We ended up saving our entire team from that push for at least 12 seconds, so... That's what happened to our Luna ult. In any case, though, the thing about healing ults in this game is that they're like, since everybody's kind of unkillable the whole time, it's mostly about like duration, right? Like, are you ulting after they ult? For example, if the enemy Cloak and Dagger ults first, or the enemy Luna ults first, let's say that, for example, and then you pop your Luna ult 4 seconds later, you know your Luna ult. Oh, this is me typing because I was starting to get a little bit tilted at all like the complaining. And I didn't mean to say I'm the only healer like that. I meant to say I was the only one alive. But if you pop your Luna ult, say like 4 seconds after they pop theirs, right? Like everybody's still unkillable inside the ults, and then your ult's just gonna end 4 seconds later. So like you guys should kind of have the edge up as long as nobody dies in that 4 seconds like prior to you ulting. You know what I mean? And so the reason why ulting in this game can be tricky as a support is because theoretically in every fight you want to be doing that. You want to be popping your ult after they pop their support ults. That means that you either A, stalemate it, or B, should just win the fight. Now, the thing about that is what kind of determines that? Well, for one, if they have triple healers and you only have 2, that means they can kind of pop ults whenever because they're now forcing your support ults, right? So that's why triple healer is like really, really hard to deal with right now. Unless you go like Magneto and Groot, which are super great anti-heal tanks. If you guys are tank players, even though you're watching a support guide, if you guys are tank players, those two are so good at against healers right now. But in any case, though, so the big thing that determines forcing it all first is like how the fight's going, right? Like how the initial fight is going. And so that's why I say it can kind of be tough because like theoretically, yeah, I want to ult after they ult, but if we're just hard losing the fight with no ults getting used, I need to ult to give us sort of that leg up, that advantage. And then it's going to force them to ult. And then all of a sudden now it's like they kind of have the advantage with their ult, right? Because their ult's going to end later. But that's kind of like what you have to do sometimes. So what I'm trying to say is the initial fight can really determine, or not the initial fight, but like the base fight without ulting can really determine. Dude, first of all, I don't know how this storm was moving. I was like, yo, no wonder you're not getting healed this game. I can't hit that. But in any case, though, it kind of just like determines on how the fight's going is what I'm trying to say. I didn't mean for that to be that drawn out, but I just wanted to make sure too I was kind of commentating over the gameplay as well. In any case, though, we're able to push up here, and yeah, we're able to kind of kill everybody on point, which is actually great. I thought we were gonna hard lose that when I missed like 4 autos on the storm. I can't cap, but we're able to get that, which is great. And in OT, this is like just getting this alone, I think, is really, really good. So now we're just gonna go ahead and try to push this up a bit. And we just want to make sure we stay on cart. As a healer, I feel like, as a healer, I want to stay on cart this whole time while they push up. And then if they start collapsing on cart, I know my team, like my front line, should go to cart, and I want to back off of it because they're collapsing on cart, right? And so then that's when I can back off. But in OT, I just kind of want to make sure I stay on cart. Make sure we push this up as fast as we can. And of course, you know, don't waste out the OT as well. Loki gets ult, so I know I can kind of back up here a little bit. And then we're going to walk into the ult. We have ult next. And, okay, so... And then my team kind of gets mad at me here. In hindsight, I think it's like fine to get mad at you. Or to get mad at me for doing that, I guess. But at the same time, like, the way... Because I have ult, right? So, like, what I'm thinking is I'm going to ult when my Luna ult ends. Like, when my Loki Luna ult ends. And I just end up getting bursted through and dying from it. So, I guess, like, in hindsight, yeah, I should have just ulted there. But, like, in general... Like, you just got to remember, right? Like, you're trained as a healer. You're kind of trained to ult whenever... Like, you don't want to overlap healer ults, right? You want to, like... You want to spread out healer ults as much as you can to get the maximum value from that. So, like, in my head, what I'm thinking is, like, okay, like, I want to wait till this Loki ult's about to end, and it's about to end, and then all of a sudden I want to pop my ult, right? Just to get the maximum benefit, maximum time. I didn't really think I was going to die through my Luna ult. So, like, that's on me right there for not ulting. But at the same time, too, like, I feel like it's an honest mistake as well, because it's like, well, I'm trying to do the right thing, right? I'm trying to extend the ult duration until Strange can kind of get his portal there, and I don't really think I'm going to die through my Loki Luna ult. If I did think so, then I would have popped it. So, in hindsight, yeah, I should have ulted there, but like I said, it's kind of like an honest mistake, and that's not something I would, like, get upset at if my teammate didn't pop ult. To be honest, there's been like a lot of things I've seen that I'm just like, I mean, I make those mistakes too. I can't really get mad at this person. Whereas like I see people get mad at each other all the time for, like, you know, like I said, like honest mistakes, like things I feel like that everybody would make. So, but that was a good learning experience. It's like, okay, now I know now that if I'm in a situation like that ever again, where I have my ult and they're kind of all on us, like, I'm going to think twice about it. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm probably going to pop my ult like halfway through, especially when we start getting all this bursted damage down now. So, that's what's cool about these videos is like they create sort of like learning experiences. But in any case, though, they end up pointing behind us, which is what everybody does on this map. And we just want to heal everybody, but everybody's kind of weak. But we're able to get some good heals off here and push them back just a little bit. Maybe we're just delaying the inevitable. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, everybody just kind of takes burst damage here, trying to heal, but unfortunately we don't have infinite autos. We have to reload. But this is what I'm talking about too. Like when people are like complaining about they need health, it's like, bro, everybody needs healing, you know. But we're gonna go ahead and die there fast just so we can kind of get the reset off, because we're gonna die anyway. So that's kind of why I stood there. And wanted to get back as fast as we can. These guys need to get out of here though, because they don't have to push the car too far. I don't even know what route I take right here. Yeah, that was that was a funny route. I was like, wait, where am I going? Yeah, maybe we could have saved them if we took a normal route. Who knows? But we're gonna go ahead and pop ult right here, just because they were getting like too big of an advantage, and it was actually pretty good ult. When I first popped it, I thought it was gonna be a bad ult, to be honest with you. I was like, I just kind of need to pop it at this point. But it actually ended up being a really, really good ult and allowed us to sort of like take control of the convoy again. But of course that thing lingers in your mind. It's like, oh, well, now I don't have my ult and they're about to have healer ult. So like, what are we going to do about it? That kind of thing. And at that point, you just hope, you know, you be optimistic. Hulk ends up doing that, but we do have Loki ult, which is great. And we're going to kind of sit on it and we just want to run to it. We just want to run to it every single time. That's what we're doing. We want to run to our team. This Hulk is beating the shit out of me, but As long as I'm in Lunal, I'm fine. They end up Sue ulting. We're going to back up a little bit because we know that Loki ult's going to end. And unfortunately, everybody just ends up dying. And that should just be game from here. Loki's still alive, but
Just die, we're gonna be back.
going to try to get to the... Did I even try to get to the point? Oh, wait, hold on. We strange ported? No, everybody's dying? Yeah, no, that's game. Yeah, so this one was an L, but, you know, I felt like for the most part we played fairly well this game. I don't know why she went in there and ulted, but I mean, it didn't matter. She was going to die anyway, so... I thought for the most part we played actually really well this game. I thought most of our ults were really good, and we had a couple really good freezes, like that freeze on Strange ult, and I think we had good positioning, but there were a few bad ults here and there, and as you guys can kind of see from like the stat board and all that kind of stuff, we did have like the most healing in the game, so that means that everybody that was saying that we weren't healing, well, they were just lying. Because we had the most healing in the game. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot from the game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the game as well and enjoyed the commentaries as always. And if you have any questions that, you know, maybe you have some after the gameplay that I didn't answer or didn't go over, just feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to get to them. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. And until the next video, see ya.